1, 2, 3. At an early age, I guess, I'd watch Sesame Street, and I'd like the songs on there, and after I'd hear them, I'd go, oh, that sounds pretty cool. So I'd go to the piano we had, and I'd sit there and plunk it out by ear. Basically, I just had tons of energy as a child. My mom wanted to do anything that would let me use it. So we went from gymnastics, and then I didn't like that so much, and then we found music, and I was like, wow, I gotta try that. So I went and bought a little violin, I took some lessons, I hated the lessons. Then I took some piano lessons after that, didn't like that. And then I pretty much gave up on all music for a while. I didn't really care about it until I basically, about high school age, I suppose. I watched the movie Walk the Line, a documentary about Johnny Cash basically, and I was like, whoa, that's awesome. The sound they got with just 3 guys playing, that's the only thing his band was, and the amount of power that he had just with 3 people, I was like, wow. That's really intense. So that's what really drew me to that style of music. I saw the guy playing an upright bass. I'm like, I gotta get into that. So I went and bought upright bass, plunked around on that for a while, and then I'd naturally see the guitarist next to him, and I just thought that was really interesting, that how much stuff they could play and the different types of sounds they could get out of that. So I just kind of gravitated toward that a little bit more. That's where I decided to stay, and that's my calling, I think. I've gone from violin, piano, upright bass, organ, harmonica, guitar, and accordion. I picked up that too. And basically anything that's in my reach, if there's an instrument, I'll pick it up, and since I figure that they're all the same notes on all the instruments, as long as I know where they are, I can play the same stuff on each instrument. So I'll look at the instrument, I'll figure out how to use it, what's the basic function of it. And I'll just go through slowly, find the notes, and then once I find the notes, I'll remember where they are so I can play it back really quick. And that's one of my best strengths I have for music, is I can hear something, retain it, and I can play it back on pretty much whatever instrument that is in my hand. It started out with Johnny Cash, and from there it basically went to, that's where I found blues, and that took me back to, I got into 20s blues, 30s blues, and then that in turn, that brought me to like late 1800s, early 1900s jazz. The more I got into the music, the more I wanted to learn about the artist and how they came up with the sounds they did, like the plantation people, with the sound they came up with is way different, and then how jazz went from New Orleans jazz to Chicago jazz and how it changed. And I liked getting into the history more of how the music came to be. One thing led to another, so now I have this really vast interest in music styles, all the way up to Jimi Hendrix to anything modern I really enjoy. I go to McNally Smith College of Music in St. Paul, and I've been there for 3 years now. A lot of the teachers there, they really are good at they'll take your interest in what type of music you like, and they'll just expand upon it and help you learn faster. Like, especially with my style of music, since the stuff I like is not super popular with most kids around the school. I mean, you have a lot of shredders and metal guys, and a lot of them are there, but not many people like rockabilly or country or blues. So the teachers saw that, and they really liked that. And like I'd get attention from teachers that weren't even teaching my class, but they'd hear me playing, and they'd stop in and see what I was doing, and they just, out of their own free time, they'd sit there and help me and show me some new stuff. I'll sit down with metal guys, I'll sit down with country guys. Anyone that's playing music, I'll sit down because there's something I can learn from them, and I can incorporate it to my own stuff. Kind of just a trade-off system. But basically what I'm at right now is I just started putting a band together, and I want us to get a band together, gig a little bit, and I just want to record some stuff, some old stuff, and just bring it into a new light in modern age, freshen it up a little bit. I'd really like to put it on an actual vinyl record for old time's sake. I just think there's a niche there that I could definitely get into and people would enjoy. Right now we have a singer. Sometimes I'll sing, but I don't prefer to sing. I double on piano, and then we have an upright bass player. He'll play electric too, and then a drummer. The singer we have, she writes her own stuff. So we're going to try to incorporate her stuff and add or use her stuff, but add a vintage feel to it. So kind of make it old and new at the same time. Some hit records would be really nice. I'd actually like to have some vinyl records released, bring that back, and have a band and just hanging out with friends and playing music, and what comes, I guess. The people I get to play with and make music with, like my friend Tim, how we got started back in the days, we used to go to Taekwondo school, his dad's Taekwondo school, and he'd set up his drum set, he was a drummer, and I'd get my harmonica or guitar. I mean, I was just starting out, so I wasn't very good. But we'd sit there and we'd play for hours and just not really play anything, but just make noise, and it sounded fun, it was fun, and just, you know, the people you get to meet and the amount of fun you get to have with them is the best part. It's my passion, just because I pretty much can't help myself but do it. I think you're almost required to have a little ADD to be able to play an instrument. So, I mean, it's a discipline you kind of force yourself to do it. You do it by yourself. You're not really disciplined. You want to do it, so you end up doing it anyway. Even if you got some other stuff to do or you're distracted, you end up doing it anyway. So it's kind of a self-discipline kind of thing. How has my art physically changed me? Hair, right away. That's the main thing that changed first. And my clothes, cuffed jeans, 50s attire, pretty much changed the way I actually was. I was kind of in between everything. I guess I'd be a skateboarder before. These days, and when I got into the music, it really changed me. I like dressing up fancy. I did my hair super high, and it really changed a lot, actually. I mean, everything from the cars I drive, the way I dress, the way I act, like even my knowledge, since I like the stuff, I talk sometimes, like I'm in the 50s, I use 50s phrases, or I use a lot of stuff. So it changed pretty much everything I was. Keeping history alive in music. If I don't make it big, that's not a big deal to me, as long as I can resurrect some of the old music, because it's still good, it's just not many people know it's there. So if I could just bring the music history to life and show other people it and get them interested, that would be my greatest aspiration, I guess. If I could tell myself earlier a way to get into music, I'd have to say, learn the history. Start at the beginning, learn it from the beginning, and learn the different genres. Look up artists. If you hear something you like, look at it, listen to it, and research it, and that in itself will lead you to other places, other music, other genres. You may not like it, but you'll hear something in the music, even if it's a song you hate. You'll take something out of there that you can use for your own stuff. So just don't limit yourself to a certain genre or a certain time frame or something that everyone else is listening to. Just because they're listening to it doesn't mean you have to like it. Just explore a little bit and just go through history and see what you like. The story behind the music is the best way to learn it.